Vijetha needs no introduction. He is very well known innovation leader within startup community. He brings with him extensive experience of mentoring and nurturing startups. If you speak to him, you will realize how passionate he is about building a strong innovation ecosystem in India. Right? And he's currently leading TIE Bangalore, which is doing amazing work for startups. So with this, I hand over the baton to Vijetha. Over to you, Vijetha.
Thank you so much, Muli. Kind words. And more than anything else, I'm looking forward to this fantastic conversation. And before we start, Diane and Pritam, people always ask, what is this beer talk? So we always raise the expectations from people that they're going to get something, so we better do something about that. We have to solve that problem. But I always tell them, look, it's not about beer talk alone. Most of the beer is all about the water. So I think that's what, so, talking about water, and this is what's so amazing about what Diane Wauters does, because she's the current Sustainability and Agricultural Development Director, Asia Pacific for AB InBev. And I think, Dan, you are very passionate about this sustainability and water management, because you have worked in China and you've done a lot of work in AB InBev since 2016. And last 2 years, you have been in India. So I think we are honored and privileged to have you here with us in India. Look forward to this conversation and your understanding. And of course, the startups want to know how they can work with you. Okay. So we'll stir the conversations towards that. And of course, then we have Pritam, my great friend. I really like what you're doing. So much of passion, so much of energy. And we look forward to this conversation and everything that AB InBev is doing around innovation and sustainability and the way you're bringing digital transformation into the game. So Pritam, 12 plus years of experience across the digital transformation strategy, IT business partnering, and he's got some very cool accolades, right? Recognized as Economic Times Young Leader 2011, Next 100 CIO. Wow, really awesome stuff. And without delaying further, guys, I'm going to start the conversations and the questions. And very simple. First, Dan, I'm going to start with you. Okay. Startups, innovation, India, AB InBev, water, sustainability. Okay, that's it. That's all I want to talk to you about.
Yeah, Vijetha, if it helps, if I can also add some context. First of all, thanks for the kind words. Really, I think it's been a great partnership working with Diane and really helping us in building this community. I think the reason we wanted to we started this beer talk session is really realizing the opportunity that we have in this era of post-COVID, to really connect and give an insight into what ABI does and how really with the innovation brewery team which I lead and the Bird Start program that we have, how we are working very closely with startups and really helping working with them in solving some of our challenges both globally as well as in the region in APAC. So today is a really special day for me, and it's great to have Diane here. Primarily because sustainability is really at the heart of what we do, and we at Innovation Brewery are privileged to be partnering with Diane to drive the agenda that she's having across APAC of really transforming to a more sustainable way of operating for ABI. In my multiple interactions with the startup community here, I think the number one question was always asked to us is what is ABI doing in terms of sustainability in APAC and India in particular? So I think we have a great day today with Diane here to answer some of those questions. But I think the most important is that almost every startup session that I met, I think we had a couple of really great ideas, really great companies working on this space, starting from reducing the water footprint that we have or reducing the carbon footprint of our breweries, etc. So really great ideas, and I think Diane will add more of it, but we have a great opportunity to work with the Innovation Brewery team today, along with the partnership that Diane is bringing to drive that forward. So I'm really privileged to have this session focused on sustainability, and really thankful for the partnership that we have here.
Thank you. And just to give a context, Diane, there are 256 people who have logged in. So you have a big audience.
It scares me when I see the number going up. So thanks for the reminder. Thank you, Vijetha, for the very nice introduction, and thanks, Pritam. So I know this is more meant to be in conversation, but I thought just to set the context, I will share a few slides. I think it will help you to clarify what we actually stand for. Sustainability, as Pritam mentioned, is at the heart of everything we do. It's our business, but we still have some goals as well that I would like to share with you. Here we go. Yes, so like overall sustainability is our business. Whoever works in our company and whatever they do, we really want sustainability to embed it and not to be aside from what we do daily. And of course, sustainability needs innovation, and I can also believe innovation needs sustainability, right? We need to be to the next level if we still want to be here 100 plus for the 100 plus years to come. We need to innovate, right? So that's where we count on you. So today I want to show a bit what our goals are at AB InBev, what our challenges are, and where we think you could fit in and help us to solve those challenges. And then also I will give you a few examples of startups we have worked with in the past. So to give you a flavor on what happened with them, what are success stories, what are challenges we encounter. So maybe this will also give you a flavor of what we looked into some startups. So overall, sustainability is not new at AB InBev. I think for years we knew it kind of matters, right? If you take the topic that Vijetha was mentioning around water, we always cared about our water usage. This was very focused in our breweries, in our operation, right? Let's reduce the water we use. And in 2018, we really realized we can do more. Our role in society as ABI is, of course, what we do in our walls. It is also outside, right? We care about our communities. We care about where we work, live, and we really want to drive change and be a leader in this space. And that's how we started redefining a little bit in 2018, what are our goals? For example, to take water, as you can see from here, it's not only about water use efficiency in our breweries, right? It's about the watershed, it's about the communities. So a very specific example in India, right? You all know better than me how water keeps on coming up. You open the newspaper, usually an article around water comes. So we know it's a challenge and we cannot solve it on our own, but we want to be part of the solution, right? Same, I will give you a few other examples more precise about India, just first overview, right? So those are the 4 goals: water 1, agriculture 2. Same around this goal, we were very focused in the past on malting barley. That's the main ingredient we grow together with our farmers. But then we say, actually, it's not only about malting barley we care, it's about our farmers, right? We want to skill them, we want to empower our farmers. And so that's where, again, you can see a slight change of how we articulate our goal since 2018. Same around circular packaging. You know, packaging, I think for some of you here on the call, it's big opportunities for innovation. Like there's a lot of cool trends on packaging made from spent grain, from like used brewery products we have. So there's a lot of cool innovation. Also, consumers are asking for it. Around the globe, the trends are really good for innovation as well. Lightweighting new bottles, make new labels, no plastic, like a lot of things going on in that space. And then climate action. So climate action, there are 2 big pieces to remember. It's renewable electricity and carbon emission, right? So I'll talk a bit more about examples. So our goal is to be 100% or purchase renewable electricity, right, by 2025 and reduce our carbon emission by 25%. Carbon emission can be in our breweries, can be through packaging, recycled content, increasing and all this, so different topic. But we decided to really get focused on the 4 goals, because I think it's also generally at ABI, when you talk with Pritam, with other people, you know, we believe it's with focus that you deliver results. Of course, there are a lot of other very cool things in sustainability we want to be part of and a lot of projects we care about. But let's say this is really the 4 areas of focus. And so when we talk with startups, we try to look for startups who align with those 4 areas in sustainability in what we do. So I'll try, because I can talk for days about sustainability, to not make it too long, but just give you a few examples of projects in each category. So maybe you can see where you could potentially fit in, and then we can get started on questions from there. I also have Ashwin from my team in India that's on the call that can also help us answer some of those questions. So first, so one of the 4 goals, water stewardship, right? So I give you a few examples specific to India. The 3rd picture you see, these are our water ATMs. So we have 4 in Bangalore, and this is really to provide drinking water to our communities. So we keep on driving a few around, now also outside cities. So this was one big partnership we brought, started with the team here in Bangalore, and that we do across India. So water quality, drinking water is one of our priorities. Other one that you see there is also the irrigation in agriculture. So that's something big. We look also startups and people partners to help us change some of the behavior and maybe some new technology that are there to use less water, for example, when we irrigate and work with our farmers. So there are two key projects, for example, around water. There is also the water cans you see at the bottom, is donations of water we do. So you might have seen now recently in the news also with COVID, a few of the breweries around the world. For example, there's an example from Australia and China and Korea. We convert our brewery into water producing units and then we donate those water to the community. The reason I give this example is also to show there's a lot of things we can do, right? Water, yeah, of course, is water efficiency, but there's a lot of cool project innovation we can bring together. We have also in our accelerator globally a startup that's working also on water, and they create a new consumer product from this water, right? They create like flavored water from water that come out of a brewery. So there's a lot of things to think about together on innovation around water as well. Then to talk a little bit about circular packaging. So if you have 3 keywords to remember about packaging, I would say 1, returnable, 2, recycled, 3, plastic alternative. 1, returnable, that means that we want to ensure our bottles come back. You know, when you drink a bottle of beer, initially you don't want to go this to waste, we want them to return. That's very important in sustainability because the amount of energy and carbon emission it takes to produce a new bottle is very high. So that's a big priority. And so we also look for partners to improve this return rate. So if you guys have cool ideas on how we can, for example, with crates, or how can we improve the system on increase our return bottles, for example, blockchain could be a way for us to trace some of our bottles, where are we losing them, where are they breaking. So if you guys walk through blockchain and see bottles as a big opportunity, it is for us, and we are very interested in that area. Second is recycled. So recycled content, mainly for us, is glass and cans. What we mean is we want the glass, some if we cannot return or if you have to buy new ones, we want them to be recycled glass, right? Same for cans. We don't want all the time to have new aluminum sheets and new cans. We want our used cans to be recycled, to be more sustainable, and ultimately that's circular packaging, right? So this recycled, if you have also technology that you know that will help us to recycle, or partnerships you want to build, this is a big topic for us as well. And then what I call plastic alternative. You see here a big sign of no plastic. Actually, no, we also evolve a little bit in our thinking. And what we really want to be is, maybe it's not plastic free everywhere, but at least waste free. So if some areas we still have plastic, we want to make sure it's recycled plastic. And this is also a big call out to you guys. If you work on, there's a lot of startups working, for example, on eco resin, recycled plastic. If you guys have cool ideas in this, for our business, we want to drive to use as less plastic as possible. And if we have to use some plastic, to make sure it's recycled and as such sustainable. So that are the 3 key words around packaging: returnable, recycled, plastic, alternative. Then quickly on climate action, right? So climate action, again, 2 topics: renewable electricity and carbon emission. Renewable electricity, we have the goal to be 100%. And to be honest, that's the biggest gap we have today in India, but also around APAC. So it's around the globe that we have this challenge, because it's also very much linked to legislation, right? So we have what you see there as picture, we have one, what we call offsite, right? So basically for renewable electricity, you can do on-site when you put solar panels on your breweries. If we do this on all our breweries, we will cover around 15–20%. So there's always a gap left where we need to go what we call offsite, means investing in a solar farm, right? That can only cover our need, because if we put solar panels on all our breweries, we will still only reach about 15–20%, right? And so then those solar farms could also be wind farm if we find the right location to do it. They are not always allowed legislation, or we don't always find the right partners to do it. So if you again have ideas on renewable, because there's also a lot of, it's not only solar farm or wind farm, right? In energy, there's a lot of biogas, biomass, a lot of conversion. So if you guys know good technology to help us reach that 100% journey, also very interested in hearing from you. And then carbon emission, this is also any initiative that you see that are connected to our business and that can reduce our carbon emission, can be linked to logistics, packaging, like a lot of efficiency we look to drive, right? So that's very important for us to have a sustainable business. Here, I want to stop a second. You see the name of Yusho and Laundry. There are two Chinese startups that were part of our global accelerator. So I will talk about this accelerator in a minute, but the reason I put them here, Yusho, so they don't do solar or wind farms, but they reuse old batteries to store energy. And so it was very cool because they came as a startup to us and they said, okay, guys, we do this. And maybe it's an opportunity for you to help reach, because at the end, you can produce renewable electricity, you need to store it. Right? So this startup came to us and last year said, okay, let's pilot in China in one of our brewery, let's do it. Then we invited them to a demo day in New York. So a few startups from around the world were invited with our global team. They came back with a $3 million USD investment from the World Bank. And so this for me is really a part of a success story because it's win-win, right? The startup came with a great idea. For us, was an opportunity we wanted. We were able at ABI to bring them to events where they could meet investors and where they saw World Bank, and no $3 million USD investment that just this year came into them. So I think that's a great example of how come to us with your ideas. Now, I think after today, I hope you will have some good overview of what we want to work on, but we don't always know the solution, right? So it's on you to convince us that's the solution you need to go for to achieve your goals. But so that was just why I wanted to highlight this startup that has been a great journey, and we still work with them currently now in China and want to extend to other countries as well. And then of course, smart agriculture. So this big priority for India, we have agriculture lead Ashwin on the call as well. So what we focus on, as I mentioned, of course, is malting barley, but it's mainly our farmers, right? We want to empower our farmers, skill our farmers, train our farmers, but then also to make it sustainable, right? Make sure we have the right environmental practices, right? Improve irrigation, potentially if you guys work on this. So there is a lot to do in agriculture, and I think India is an amazing country to test also new innovation in agriculture. And digital agriculture is what we all see as a future, right? A lot of robotic comings as well. It's really cool stuff. The example there we put on Kisan Hub, they were also part of our global accelerator. Again, I will give you more information on this. And we piloted with them last year, and now we fully scaled them commercial contract to all our farmers. So they are a crop intelligence platform, right? So they help you to monitor your crop. And so again, it's a startup that came to us with this idea. We decided to go for it after assessing a lot of other startups that do similar things. So I really think that's a great example in India, how to a global accelerator, they came to us and now we fully scale and the team is using it daily. So very exciting. They also, what you see on the picture is a weather station. So they install weather stations closer to the farmer so they can forecast better the weather that's more accurate to the farmers itself, right? So it's not a far away distant weather information, but very close to our farmers. So that's what you see there on the picture. So that's overall very quick view, but again, I can talk for hours. But so you could see kind of the 4 goals, the focus, where we stand for at ABI. Again, when we launched these 4 goals in March 2018, we very quickly realized we cannot solve all those problems on our own, right? There's no way ABI know all the solutions. And that's where we also decided to launch the Global Accelerator. I want to talk a little bit about it because at the end, I will bring it back more to the focus of today's call. But I think for some context for you to see what ABI does with startups, it might be helpful. So very fast, we'll say, okay, we need those new ideas, entrepreneurs. We can potentially help them to scale their ideas, but let's go out to the ecosystem, right? So we launched the Global Accelerator in August 2018. So now we are the 2nd cohort, right? So those are some examples I want to give you from the first cohort of 5 startups that were selected to pilot in India. So not all of them are a success, but I think it's part of our culture to also open gaps. So I want to share the experience on what made some of the startups really successful and maybe some learnings we can make sure that together we can avoid in the future. So Kisan Hub, that's the one I just mentioned to you, right? Big success in India, fully scaled commercial contracts, really cool. For me, that was a great experience. I think important learning from that is that adaptability to the team. So they really took time to understand what we needed. And so it was really a partnership to build together the platform that we need. Open water. So open water, I'm transparent, we ended up not signing a commercial contract. And the reason I put it here is I think it's very important when you guys, Jed also mentioned, what do startups, what can they bring, is bring scalable solutions. So ABI is big, our breweries are big, and this, we tested this water treatment, really cool, but was not ready to be scaled up. And that's fine in certain circumstances, but it's also a learning that makes sure when you come that you have kind of a plan that makes financial sense and that you're also ready to scale your ideas big time if the pilot is successful. BankQ, it's to give an other context. So BankQ is a blockchain platform that helps to track transparency of our farmers and as such to financial empower. Again, I can talk more about it later on if you're interested. The reason I put it here, they piloted in Uganda. So they piloted in Africa and then we saw, oh, they're really good, let's bring them to India. So the reason I bring this example means the same can happen to you, right? We are successful in India, we can bring you to Africa, to other countries. So this came from Africa to India. It's really cool. So I think at ABI, what with Pritam and with the team, what you can count us is us to give big exposure to other countries as well if the pilot is successful in India. And then I give two other examples of those two companies. Again, because they show different stage. So when I say be ready to scale, well, not always, right? It's also okay that you just want to be known by ABI and run some tests with us. Those two companies, we really like them. We did testing with them. They were also not really ready to scale, but we still invested a bit in them also. So I think it's just to give you a full picture. Opportunities are there and can look very different, right? Could be really commercial contract in India, could be commercial contract outside India, can be just you want to test some things with us. Maybe it's too soon. So for example, with Wavula, we say, okay, no, it's a bit too small. Next year when you're ready, come back and we'll do it together, right? So it's just come with us, share your ideas, see what we can build together. And a few points, I think, when I reflect back on what makes it successful for startups, I would say it's for sure the agility and speed, right? So we at ABI like to think we move fast and we have this culture that's very entrepreneurial. That's why we also like to work with startups. You guys are more agile than any other big companies in the world, right? So bring this agility, speed to work on developing pilots, show quick success, and then scale up. Of course, scalable solutions, right? As I mentioned, it's important. We like big impact also, and solutions we can build together. That's also, we want to co-partner, co-develop. So come with us if your ideas, if they're not totally ready, but have this ambition to be big, to scale with us. Also cultural alignment, this is a point that I think less often come up, but I think it's very important for a startup is to try to get to know the company you will work with. So ABI has its own culture. If you work with other big companies there, it's important that you get to know the culture, how to work with people. That can really make a big difference, I think, in the success of the pilot is to understand with who you're working, what matters to them, what are the focus areas and the culture of the company. So that was a few first points from my side. And then really, after I will hand over to Pritam also, I quickly wanted to end up. So right now, today, we also really wanted to show India specific. We, with the team, listed a few challenges that we opened last week. So some of you might already have a look at it. As you can see, it's very aligned with the sustainability goals I just talked about, but it's also broader, right? You see, for example, procurement operation, we want to drive efficiency there as well. So sustainability is our business, it's important, but we're also interested to call out people from procurement operations or in supplier analysis, supplier management that can help us in those areas. So here you can see, happy to talk more about those areas as well, but I will maybe let Pritam talk a bit about the BitStart and this batch.
Yeah, thanks, Diane. And I think, you know, some of the insights that you shared has also been a kind of an
Pritam, you need to be louder, Pritam.
Am I audible, Vijetha?
Yeah, now it's better. Now it's better.
Yeah.
Please
So I think, Diane, thanks for your slides. I think some of them has really been an eye opener for me also, consider like showing some of the work that we're doing. So, you know, I just wanted to kind of quickly touch base on the BirdStart program. So BirdStart program is a unique accelerator program that we have, Innovation Brewery, have launched. There are multiple editions. You might have seen the operations edition, the logistics edition that we have, or the IT services edition that we had earlier. I think this time the focus is on the procurement and sustainability piece. I think what is unique about the Burstar program that, we work very closely with our business functions, say for example, in this case with the sustainability team, and really work and mentor the startup. So it's not like a one-time opportunity that's there, but it's a long-term relationship where we work with you, help you do pilots with us and scale up not only in India but actually across the globe. So some of our cohort members have actually been able to work with the Africa business. We had opportunities where they have been piloted across our European business, our North American businesses, etc. Now, what we truly believe is that we work on a model which there are multiple models which we work with, which includes gain share in an initial kind of pilot setup. But the whole promise is that there are some focused challenges. For example, in case of procurement and sustainability, there are some of the areas listed above are kind of the focused areas that we will work with the identified startups there. But the key part is that being part of a Bud Start program gives you an opportunity to not only work for ABI, but also get introduced to some of our partners like TIE, F6S, or we have investment partners also with whom, like our ZX Ventures arm, which is one of the leading venture arm in globally, as well as Innovation Consortium, where we have other companies like Kimberly Clark, Society General part of it, and an opportunity to also be kind of we get introduced and be part of that network as well. So I think this is a unique accelerator program that we launched this year, and we are seeing really some early success. And I think as part of the, I'm really personally really keen to have some really great ideas and really great partners in the procurement and sustainability space. And as you would have seen, that's something which we all hold really close to our heart across ABI. So I think right now is the time to put all those great ideas to actions. Join us in our Bud Start journey, and let's see what we get out of our procurement and sustainability edition. And we are also open to feedback, some learning. So if any of you have any ideas, any concept, to reach out to us. We are and we are also open to kind of listen to some of the feedback in this space. Over to you, Vijetha.
Thank you so much, Dan and Pritam. Pritam, you all have done a great job in making my life much easier. You all have answered every single question that I prepared for. Thank you so much for that. I would now just, let's stirring the conversation to some specific notes that is coming out from this fantastic presentation that you did, Diane. It's very beautiful. There's a question here about green logistics. So is there something, I mean, obviously it means about sustainability, cutting down the emissions maybe. So is there some light that you can throw around that, green logistics?
Sure. So green logistics in a lot of countries, if you want to go to EV trucks, hydrogen trucks, some also we are really thinking use the renewable electricity from a brewery to charge our trucks and be total circular. So that's a big area that I'm still myself want to know more in India, what's possible today. Are we ready for it? How far away is it? Can you be the first one to launch a hydrogen truck in India? We did it in China last year, the first hydrogen truck that was delivering beer. So it's possible, it's small scale for now. We believe we want to be the first one at those trends to launch those type of trucks. And it's also another point about logistic efficiency, right? You can also save fuel if you have better road optimization or better fuel mix. So I know some startups might work in this area. So those are a bit the two directions of the green logistics.
Okay, fantastic. Because I think responsible sourcing electric vehicles and renewables. Just to let you know that TIE also has something called an IoT forum, and out there the EV part of it, right, charging stations, bringing more and more, cutting down cost and the pollution in the, India has that same problem. So we will definitely touch base on this and figure out how we can also collaborate and work with you on this separately. All right, fantastic.
Awesome.
So, and this is an open-ended question, Pritam and Diane. See, there are hundreds of startups out there, right? They're all really, I mean, look, let's be also clear that one of the challenges that we are going to face after these 3 months of shutdown is a lot of people are struggling for business, struggling for mentoring, struggling for funding, and they want paid POCs. So what are the growth hacks? What are the, I know you did a beautiful presentation, and Pritam and his team have been really bombarding the ecosystem with opportunities. But in terms of, real focus, like what kind of areas, not exactly areas, but the ways that startups should focus and work with you, so that it's a winner rather than a long drawn process. How quickly can they make themselves very, very attractive to work with AB?
Yeah, Dan, should I take it and then you can add on to that?
Sure.
Yeah. So I think, we are in a post-COVID scenario, and, one of the key things we at ABI, we believe that every crisis is an opportunity. I think that's been our mantra at ABI, and I think that's what, you might have seen in Innovation Brewery, because we see this as an unique opportunity where we can connect from startups and ecosystem, and not as only limit ourselves to India or a particular region, but across the globe. Now, in terms of unique opportunity, and like with any other corporate, when we have a crisis, the spend for any kind of discrete funding would be limited. And same is kind of really doing new experiments when you have to ensure that the business is running. For me, the key thing would be is to come up with like a gain share model. There are multiple examples that we have, in fact, in our Bud Start program also, where some of the startup which has operated on a gain share model have been able to really scale up, because what they truly believe in, that we provide some value for you, and we really believe that we can provide that value, and you only pay us when we are able to bring that value on table. So I think my first point would be to really come up with that gain share model as a proposition for your customers, because believe me, in all my conversations, I actually have been talking to a lot of big CPG name in this space, including Johnson and Johnson, Unilever, etc. And I think the general feel across this industry is that the discrete investments would be low. So come up with a gain share model that really is an early ticket for you to kind of get past all the hurdles that we might have, in kind of starting a pilot or a proof of concept. The second piece would be, really don't look for short-term opportunities, but look for a bit longer term opportunity. Just to give you an example, say of our Bud Start program, it's not just an opportunity to work in India. You possibly are gonna be working with one of the largest consumer goods companies in the world, and I think it's really important how you kind of identify your opportunities and what is the opportunity SWOT analysis you do. So choosing the right accelerator program, choosing the right corporate partner is really important. And I think we are AVI have a track record of really working with our partners to picking that up. But I would suggest that whether it's us or any other corporate partner, be very clear the value the corporate brings to you in terms of scale and operability. The third thing would be mentorship. I think at being from the startup ecosystem myself, and being part of the early stage investment firm, I think one of the things which I really feel differentiates the good from the great startups or the great ecosystem partners is mentorship, because there are many people who can provide you a paid pilot, provide you with some initial funding, but there are very few who would be ready to kind of really take out their time and help you build your product and mentor you. I think that's a unique offering that we have as part of our Bud Start program, and that's something which, if I would have been a startup, I would really look for, because it's not just about doing a particular project or a particular initiative in a company, but it's also about how confident you are that they will help you shape your offering and shape your product in the future, and at the same time will be willing to kind of give references for you, will be willing to stand up for you in different forums and say that we really would like to kind of this is a great idea and you should be vouching for. So I think we have some great components of each of this in our Bud Start program, but whether it's Bud Start or any other program, whenever you choose, you should look out for these kind of key highlights. Over to you, Diane.
Fully aligned. Thanks a lot, Pritam, for this. I think a few points. I think the post-COVID or COVID, depend on which country you are, it just reinforces the need of innovation. How many business come out of we call crisis. we need to act fast, and you are the people that can do it, right? Let's say you need to quickly set up online sales or things like that. Like, we need the agility of the startups, and a lot has shown how fast we can act. So I think it just reinforced the need. So ABI wants to work with startups, I think even more. They always did. The second point is, if you look, for example, at the global accelerator, from that perspective, we didn't cancel any of the pilots this year. So we built a cohort. Some pilots are delayed because mainly of the situation in the country, right? They were locked down, so they say, okay, we need to delay 2 months, and we had that flexibility. And 2 weeks ago, but we didn't cancel any of our investment, because for us, it still stay very high priorities. And on, I know you say people want POCs fast, they want to run, and we also want to rebuild our business as fast as possible. And we also there to help startups. If startups need to be connected to supply, be connected to partners, all those things, COVID doesn't hurt any of this. We can do this together to help you also bring more business in. Another one is, if we launch this now, the slides you can see now means we believe in it. I don't think Pritam and our team will all bring this. It's really because we believe in this need now. It's not for next year, it's for now. So this is the right areas we are looking for and we are ready to do. And on the mentorship, I fully agree on Pritam's point. And again, I think mentorships, actually, if you want to look at the positive sides, a lot of them are at home now and have time to talk with you. So we have continued all this mentorship with the startups around. So for me, the opportunity is even bigger. Be agile, come with your new ideas, and companies need it to be resilient and bring even more results.
Thank you so much, Pritam and Diane. So some of the questions and also some of the inputs that we would love to hear from you from the ecosystem point of view, right? What is you all are based in Bangalore. There are certain restrictions on no meetings, you all are working from home, etc. But still, we should not stop this innovation journey, the startup connects, and we should very kindly, you are saying about mentoring and making these introductions to suppliers, etc., etc. So from also, Diane, from your experience in China, right? What are some of the best practices? What are some of the growth hacks or whatever you may offer to some of the startups here from Pritam and Diane, so that they can really move fast? Because there's a lot of competition. There are a lot of people who will be in different stages looking at each of you. I mean, such beautiful opportunities, right? Responsible sourcing, smart agriculture, circular packaging. And what is the messaging that we can help you send out to a larger ecosystem as to how do they work with you better? How do they prepare themselves better? And apart from what you have said over here, are there any other opportunities globally that you can share which will make them work towards it, and then we'll help you together as an ecosystem partner?
I can start and then put to Pritam. Yeah, I think additional opportunities, I think there are already a lot there, but I think, again, to go back to the point I mentioned before, for me, the most important, know your company. Once you choose with who you want to run pilots, it's time consuming for you and for the company, right? So first, make the right decision. It's with us or not. That's just for you to assess where you find the right mentorship and the right. Once you have taken the decision, really take time to know and understand the culture of ABI, how we work, and also adapt your solution to ABI. I've seen these startups with really cool ideas. They come to present, but they didn't present the solution that makes sense for us. Right? So you really need to think, why would ABI want my solution? Right? And so I think that thought process, it's really important to say, okay, ABI, I know you have this gap. I heard Diane present, you have this problem. I have a solution for you. Really make people understand how your solution fit into the company and not give general presentation of your solution. This, I think, make a big, big difference in the startups. And I think others at ABI, what makes it successful from experience in China, it's you need the leadership buy-in in the company. You can count on Pritam, us, and the whole team to make sure our leadership buys in, because change, not everyone wants change, right? So I think also for the startups, you need to make it as smooth as possible for the people who run the pilots with you, right? Take time to explain clearly what the impact will be and show the longer term impact. Yes, change might be a pain right now, but no pain, no gain, like how sometimes people say, it's for a future gain. And I think this mostly what we see in a lot of circumstances is an initial reluctance of change until people are convinced this is amazing, this will change my life. And so I think that's also the startup, show that your solution will bring improvement. So people are convinced we don't need to do it, we want to do this together.
Yeah, and Diane, great points. Along with the opportunity that we have here that is listed, I think one of the key opportunities that you'd be looking at, not only really working as part of this cohort, but also possible, like most of the startups, I think investments would be a possible area where we can look into, or for example, scale up and references, as I mentioned earlier. So I think the opportunities are quite large and wide in case, as a company with over 100 plus countries where we operate. I think it's for you to kind of first start identifying the right partner, whether, Anheuser-Busch with InBev with such a good footprint, is that a company you want to really partner with? I can tell you that the ride won't be really very smooth, because as we would like to move fast, we would also be very careful of whom we partner with. So it's a two-way process, but I think once we are in, it's gonna be a quite a hell of a ride. So I think it's important that you identify the right partner. And if you are with us, I think the opportunities are open. It starts with the this cohort at birth start of sustainability and procurement, but could possibly end into multiple areas, like for example investment from our venture arm. So it will be too early to say that right now, but we do have kind of a very big venture arm called ZX Ventures, and we do have quite a lot of investments in multiple areas, including sustainability and procurement.
Thank you, Pritam. I think whenever the startups hear opportunities around funding and investment, their ears perk up. And just to let you know, Diane and Pritam, you also just take a quick glance at the group chat that is happening. A lot of people have been also writing and saying, yes, we're going to apply. So I think you all have made a very, very good pitch. I think you're a really good sales guys also. So that's fantastic.
Amazing.
And Pritam and Diane, I would love to host more sessions where you guys do some mentoring, right? I mean, yes, you all are from AB InBev, but you also talk about how mentor the startups to get really better, because this is something that we should also be kind of as ecosystem folks. The better we prepare them to see problems from your point of view, and Pritam keeps talking about P&L impact. That make sure how you can make money for the company that is going to invest in you or is going to back you up. I think that's what really makes a big difference. Pritam and Diane, one more question that is coming about is smaller ecosystems, right? See, I know we have got a huge audience now, people logged in globally as well. But just imagine there are some startups in Odisha or there, I mean, I don't know, Pritam will know this, but Diane, there are so many beautiful towns where I have also visited, like Bhopal, Odisha, Goa. There are great startups over there, right? But how do they sit over there and work with you, or how does that work? I mean, can we make some thought process around that so that no one should lose his opportunity?
Yeah, so Vijetha, maybe let me suggest. So first of all, we do not have any geographical limitation. So for us, I think this COVID is just accelerating what we always believed in. I know, for example, a lot of accelerator programs are focused on certain geographies, etc. But as you would have seen in our slides, our Bud Start program is primarily focused on business challenges, and solutions to challenges can come from anywhere. See, as an innovation brewery team, we are primarily focused across the APAC region, but we are open to partnering with startups from anywhere in the world, as long as you solve the challenges and the problems that we have. So I think geography is not a constraint. The second thing what I would suggest is that in terms of remote or I would say tier 2 cities where we really have some great ideas, I know connectivity or sometimes access to platforms like us, or for example any of the partners, becomes a challenge. But I think this is also an opportunity for startups from from tier 2 or tier 3 cities to really come up and participate, because with ABI we have really some great partners, including Vijetha, you, like Thai, and for example others. And this is like I would say like an instant platform to kind of really move up the ladder, and rather really not be constrained by where you are based. So for us, it's not a constraint. We are open to any startup from anywhere, and at the same time, I don't see really that would be a constraint working for us in Bud Start in any way. Diane, anything from your side?
Yeah, fully aligned. And also our brewery footprint is all around the country, right? So our main office is in Bangalore, but actually a lot of, if you want to work on water quality improvement in one of our brewery, we have them in so many locations. So fully aligned. And actually, to give you an example, Kisan Hub, the one we work with, our farmers are in Rajasthan mainly. They were based in Pune and the UK, the founder team, and it worked perfectly fine. So it's really, especially in today's world, like you mentioned, so I would not consider geography any issue. And if you want to be active in a special geography, as long as it matches with ours and where we have breweries, we are totally open to that too.
Okay, thank you so much, both Pritam and Diane. So now, see, I know you have done a presentation. Okay, there are a lot of questions saying that number one, would you be able to share this presentation so that it's sent to a larger audience? Is that are you comfortable with that?
Sure, no problem. Yeah,
no problem. Okay,
I can send you a few links also on things.
Sure, yeah, please do that. I mean, there's a lot of fantastic information that is being shared by the team, but still, let's take this. You know, we want to move this to a larger and larger audience. So we had almost 300 people logging in.
Yeah, so Shivi, I think we would have email IDs of everybody who would have registered. So I think we should be able to send this slide to all of you.
Yeah.
And in fact, we will soon be having a web portal where we will be uploading our Beer Talk videos. We'll also share the link shortly, so you can have these videos there.
Okay, perfect.
If you feel to email, because I see a lot of questions in the chat, but I didn't have time to at the same time reply, so I call on you guys to help coordinate this also.
Yes, because there's a lot of questions saying that you're looking for agri-tech solutions, and then there are people are saying we are from Rajasthan, we're from Madhya Pradesh, Haryana. So how do we work with you? I think these are the questions that is coming up.
That's the right areas. That's where our farmers are.
yeah, that's exactly where the farmers are, right? So I think we really need to get this communication and all. I think there's so much of beautiful synergies and a lot of potential that is firing out here. And I think Pritam, one more thing that we must be doing is we should involve Diane also with the way we're working with other ecosystem players and also some of the other innovation partners and investors. Because Diane, you have a lot of best practices there because you work globally. So has Pritam, right? You have worked in different geographies, you have worked in different cultures and mindsets. And some of these best practices will really make a huge difference to the startup ecosystem here in India. And all of us would be really grateful if you can spare some time around that as well. Okay. And Shivi and Murli, I think I have covered most of the questions here. But are there some any inputs? I'm just quickly run through. Also, there's a poll that is going on, by the way. There are a lot of people taking part in the poll. Good, that's also interesting. And see, people are also asking you about, I think Pritam, you had talked about last time, COVID era. There was a lot of other things that you had started developing, right? Sanitizers and things like that, right? So what are the, in-house innovations, what's going on? Because I know that your teams are subject matter experts in so many things, logistics, analytics, and a very unique thing about Pritam and your team and what you're doing with Diane is you all work with business units. So considering there are so many business units who all need the sustainability goals that Diane is working in, how does this internal coordination happen and how does the startups also understand it better so that they can impress you guys to take them on board, if that makes sense?
Yeah, so I think the most I would say we in Innovation Brewery serve as a gateway to ABI. I think one of the things which we really do is the first step for any startup would be to really identify the themes from the Bird Start program, which area you fit in, because I think things will move faster if you kind of align with some of the priority areas that we have at our end, similar to what sustainability and procurement or operation technologies, gain share model, etc. Now, coming to how we work with our business partner and how the model works is that the innovation team works with the business business team, identifies the problem statement, the challenges that we have, and then launches either a Bird Start program or, for example, any other program through which we connect ourselves with the ecosystem. So this is a structured process with a strong leadership buy-in across the board, which also helps us, drive the change across the organization. So, some of the innovation, for example, optimizing our spend across payments, building analytics model, for ABI, then kind of improving our order to cash, our reconciliation process has been some of the key highlights and initiatives that we have actually got from Indian ecosystem, which kind of have helped us scale it up globally. So just to summarize, your first port of call would be the innovation brewery team. You can either apply through the Bud Start program. If you feel there is nothing in the Bud Start program, don't hesitate to reach out to us, either me, Shivi, Murli, or any of the team members, and we definitely would like to kind of sit up with you, understand, because we work in two ways with our business function. One, by working with them, by understanding the problems, and then kind of building a cohort or a program like Bud Start, or if there is a new idea in the business function which possibly we can take forward, and we kind of go in that proactive model also. So it's a mix of, it's a two-way model that we have. And I think some of you might be aware that few days ago we worked with the Africa zone, and not only ABI Africa, but the entire beverages industry of Africa, to help them reopen. And a Indian startup actually played a key role in creating the e-token system of opening up entire South African market post the COVID lockdown. I think this is just some of the examples that I shared, but again, come to Innovation Brewery either to the Bud Start program, or just reach out to us, and we would be really keen to kind of explore and then take it forward with the right business group within Anheuser in Bush.
So very interesting. So we covered the Bud Start program. We talked about how a beer company is not just looking at tech innovation, but is also looking at sustainability. I think that's a very, very beautiful and wonderful thing to do. So we feel a little less guilty when we're having our beers. Okay, so I think that's very nice. So we have another 5 to 10 minutes left. Okay, so I would just like to run through a couple of scenarios. Now, both of you are senior leaders. Okay, many startups there are some tough situations happening and all. How do you all stay motivated? How do you stay relevant? And what are the new skills that you all are learning around innovation, around your knowledge sessions, etc.? How are you all learning, and some inputs that can be given to the ecosystem? Diane and Pritam.
Diane, you want to go first?
Can you go first? Because it's the learning from us.
Okay.
Or
yeah, it's the learning from us. I think.
Yeah,
okay, maybe I'll take a step, and then you can add. So I think Vijetha,
slightly louder, Pritam. Slightly louder. Huh?
Is it better now?
Yeah, better now. Perfect. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, so so I would say, what are the learnings in terms of this COVID situation? I think I touched upon this earlier. I think there are two fronts to this. One is for example, for us as an ABI or team as a company, one of the things that we have realized that the world is never going to be the same that it used to be pre-COVID. So how we evolve our business model and how we really work differently in this scenario. So a couple of things. For example, digital transformation would be really at heart of what we do. We are kind of really steering our business to find new opportunities on top of what we do. I cannot share really more details, but because of obviously some of this cannot be shared in the public forum. But I think overall, we do recognize that our business is gonna be really different. We have to operate differently, and digital would be now at the core of everything that we do. So which starts from direct delivery of some of our beers to our consumer, partnering with some other partners to identify new business opportunity as new innovation, and as well as a new products in this space. On a personal front, I think this has been a great learning opportunity for me. I think I think in the lifetime before or in even later, I'm not sure we will ever have such a time in our life. I think the most important learning has been what's really important and what's really priority for you, and really putting that together. Because in a normal day routine, what we have many things going, and it's sometimes we miss the prioritization of the like the things that we want to do. So my key things would be both from a business and personal perspective. Learnings for the ecosystem from a business and personal perspective would be: one, look at your business. Is it still relevant in this post-COVID era? And what transformation are you gonna bring in in the post-COVID era to drive your business? And I can tell you that in ABI we really have been thinking very deeply about it, and we have been driving some of those changes. On a personal front, in some of my discussions with the startup ecosystem leaders and actually some of the founders, I think many of you are going through a lot of cash flow challenges. There are people challenges, there are orders that are stuck, etc. So I think it's a very difficult phase, and I think you will also have to understand that it's not only for you, but in the entire ecosystem, which includes large corporates, also going through a stress at this point. So focus on what is the immediate value that you can bring your customer in terms of that will help you getting some early wins, like the gain share model that I mentioned earlier. And I think, and the PNL impact also, if you can bring something really quickly to the customers at this point, but also really prioritizing what you really want to do. I think a very successful startup with whom we have been partnering with in transferring our order to cash process, and actually they recently got became a unicorn out of India. I think one of the key learnings from the founders to me was that it is right now more important to decide what not to do than what to do, because I think you cannot keep doing all the things that you were doing earlier. So what is your priority in terms of the new business realities that is shaping up? So that is where I would kind of like to highlight. Over to you, Diane, if you want to add.
Sure. Yes. So I would say maybe two learnings is really focus and resilience. So I think, like Pritam mentioned before, we see crisis always as opportunities, right? A lot of business were launched this way. If you look back at the 2007, 2008 crisis, but don't go all over the place, right? Try to stay focused on what you can bring. So most likely you will have to change idea, maybe change the business plan, rebuild what you have done or what you were thinking. A lot of people, you can see the agility they have. And if you news report, right, they were planning to launch a co-working space, and then the situation happened. They relaunched mentorship at distance for people who struggle to work and need motivation, right? There's a lot of way to recreate yourself, but then stay focused, right? Try to pick this 1, 2, 3 big bets you have, or this one thing, but focus will bring results. At least that's what I believe in. And then resilience, as they always say, like tough times don't last, tough people do. I think really the best will come out. It's always like this in this tough situation. When everything goes well, you can see who are good, but it's when everything doesn't go as planned that you really see the people that like come out. So I would really say focus and resilience. And I love the energy we have. So the stay motivation, I think working innovation and with startups is the best to actually stay motivated, talk with other people in the ecosystem and help each other out on opportunities.
Thank you so much, Pritam and Diane. Those are very kind words of encouragement. Now, one very quick question, okay? Are you guys hiring? Because there are some questions around that also. Because can I say why? I'll tell you why I'm saying this. See, there are a lot of startups, unfortunately, that may not make it through this phase. Let's be honest, unfortunately. But very good founders, great people who are very good in technology and other things. So maybe there are opportunities. Just have to say yes. Just say yes and make everyone feel good about life.
We always look for the best people, no? We always say people, that's our thing. So we want the best of people and people better than ourselves. So
yeah, so I think I will also add to that, we are actually, I think one of the very few companies where we not only kind of till now we protected all our employees, we protected all the offers that we made to campuses. I personally kind of had calls with all the campuses where we visited. We actually protected the internships also that we offered. So I think, yeah, we would love to kind of talk to some of you, whoever is interested, and find the right fit.
Oh, great.
It's a very good point, Pritam. Actually, on the internship, I saw the percentage that got canceled around the world is crazy. And we actually, with Ashwin, who you see